Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be crocheting a cute heart coaster just in time for Valentine's Day. These would make a great gift for your significant other or just for yourself. Self-love. And by the way, in this video, I do show you just about every stitch. So if you're an intermediate to advanced crocheter and would like to purchase the PDF pattern, I have that available on my Etsy. So check out that link in my bio. But before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe and tag me on my socials if you make these. Without any further ado, let's get into some materials. So firstly, you're going to need your 3 colors of yarn. I'm using a cream, a light pink, and then a darker pink. Feel free to use whatever you like. If you want to make it solid, that works too. But then you're going to need a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle. So getting into round 1, we are going to start with a magic circle. So in order to do this, we're going to make a loop that looks just like this. So the top part should be going behind, and that's like the little yarn, if that makes sense. Just kind of look at what I'm doing here. So then we're going to stick our hook through the circle and grab our yarn to pull it through that circle. Just like so, and then we're going to chain 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Next, we are going to do 2 double crochets. So we're going to wrap our yarn, put our hook through the loop, pull 1 through, pull a yarn through 2, pull a yarn through 2 more. So let's do that again. Wrapping our hook, we'll pull the yarn through 2 and pull a yarn through the last 2 as well. So next we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to double crochet 3 this time. So there's 1, there's 2, and we're still just working in that magic circle. And so we're going to essentially do this 2 more times. So chain 2. And double crochet 3 more. I have done a heart tutorial before on my channel when I did the heart granny square, so that one is a little bit more in depth. If you need a little bit more beginner friendly tutorial, I'll link that. But next we're going to chain 2. And then we will double crochet 3 more for the last time. And then we're going to do 1 more set of chain 2. So next you can go ahead and cinch your magic circle by pulling that loose yarn. And we should have something that's starting to look like a square. So in order to finish this off, we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of the first stitch. Right there. And now we do in fact have a square, which is good. That's what we want for the first round. But let's turn this into a heart. So we're going to do 1 more slip stitch to the kind of the center of this double crochet 3 we had at the beginning. Next we'll chain 1. And if you see this gap where we did a chain 2 in the first round, there's a little hole. And now we're going to put our double crochet into that hole. But we're actually going to put 8 double crochet. So there's our first one, but we're going to do 7 more, all into that same gap. So there's 2, and 3, and we will do 8 in total. Alright, so your 8 should look something like this. And next we're going to chain 1, and we're going to look to the next corner gap. So if you see those 3 double crochet on the bottom, we'll skip those, go to the corner, and do a single crochet. And after that, we'll chain 1 more. And now, looking to the next set of the 3 double crochet we had at the beginning, we're going to look to that middle one right here. And we're going to do a few stitches in here. So first we'll do 2 single crochet in this same stitch. So 1 and 2. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 2 more still in the same stitch. And this makes the point of our heart. So it's looking really good. Just got to finish up. So we're going to chain 1, look to the next corner gap right here, do a single crochet, and we will chain 1 more next. Now, looking to the final corner gap, we're going to basically repeat what we did at the beginning, and we're going to do 8 double crochet into that last corner gap. So right about here is where you'll do your first one. And now we're just going to insert 7 more double crochets into that same spot. Alright, so now that we have those done, our heart looks something like this. So we're just going to finish it off with a chain 1 and slip stitch to the middle of the heart. It's basically the next stitch from where we were at, right about there, and it finishes off that other half of the heart for us. Just like that. So next, since we're going to change colors, after this round we want to trim this yarn. And we're going to knot it off just by looping it through this loop that we have. So just like that, and you'll pull it nice and tight, and it kind of helps define the shape of our heart too. So moving on to round 3, we're going to make a slip knot with the white yarn. And looking to the point of the heart, there's one stitch that is kind of right at the point, and it should be the chain 1 that we did, but we're going to insert our hook into the back loop only of this stitch. So rather than catching both halves of the loop, we're just going to do the back part. And we actually do back loop crochet for this entire project starting here, but feel free to, if you don't want to do the back loop only, you can just do it like normal. But we're going to pull that yarn through. And now we're going to chain 2. And like I said, back loop only for the rest of the project. So now that we're going to start crocheting, keep in mind that we're only doing it in the back loop. So now we're going to start with the very next stitch, and we're going to do 6 half double crochet. So that stitch looks something like this, a little bit different than the double crochet. But there's our first one, so our second one will look like this. And we still wrap our hook at the beginning of the stitch, but we just pull our yarn through all 3 loops instead. So like I said, we want to do 6. So here's number 3. There's number 4. Number 5. And lastly, number 6. And it looks something like this. So I'll trim my spare yarn, which I just kind of crocheted over top of. Feel free to weave them in if you didn't, that's totally fine. But getting into the new kind of stitch, we're gonna do a half double crochet increase. So basically that just means doing 2 half double crochet in one stitch, just like so. But in the next stitch, we're just gonna do 1 half double crochet like normal. And we're gonna repeat this pattern 3 times. So 2 more times, we're gonna do an increase by putting 2 half double crochets into one stitch, just like so. And then in the next stitch, we'll just do 1 half double crochet. So one more time, we'll do our half double crochet increase here. And then we'll just do 1 half double crochet. So next, looking to the next stitch, we're gonna half double crochet, increase once more. So putting 2 into that same stitch, all back loops only still. And now that we're to the middle of the heart, we're gonna wanna do another slip stitch right at the middle. It should be right about there. So next, we're gonna do this pattern again of half double crochet increase in the first stitch, and then in the next, we'll just do 1 half double crochet. So then we'll go back to our increase, and then just 1 more half double crochet, and then we'll do that pattern one last time, increase here, and just 1 more half double crochet, so next we're going to do a half double crochet increase once more. And then we're going to do our half double crochet 6, which is just what we started with. So we're kind of having a symmetric pattern here. But there's our first and our second half double crochet, no increases anymore. Just 1 in each stitch, all the way until the end. So now that we're here, we're coming up to the stitch that we started at, and we're gonna half double crochet once more into that stitch we started in. Just like so. Then we'll chain 1 to make the point of the heart kind of defined, and then we're gonna do a slip stitch into the top of that first stitch we did. Technically it was a chain 2, but we'll just slip stitch into the top, like so. And now we've finished that row. So we'll trim our yarn since we're going to change colors once again, and we will just knot off this end. So starting with our light pink, we're going to do another slip knot. And then again, we're going to look to the point of the heart, and we're always going to start at the point from here on out, but still doing back loop only. It should be a stitch before the one we ended on, as you can see right here, just grabbing the back loop only, and we'll pull that slip knot through right here. Next, we are going to chain 2 once again, and you'll probably see the pattern becomes a little bit repetitive here. So we're going to half double crochet 7 this time. So here's our first one. Here's our second. third, speeding this up a little bit. And just trimming off some of this excess yarn to get it out of the way. Like I said, I crochet over top of them so I don't have to weave them in later. Feel free to try that. So getting onto this pattern, we're gonna do a half double crochet increase. First, so 2 in 1 stitch. And now this time we're gonna do 2 separate half double crochets. So just 1 in that stitch, looking to the next, we'll do 1 half double crochet in the next. We'll repeat that pattern 2 more times. So here's our increase. And then we'll do 2 individual separate half double crochets. So one more time. Here's our increase. And then our 2 half double crochets. Alright, so next we're going to do a increase again, half double crochet increase first. And then we'll do 1 individual half double crochet, not an increase. And next, you might have guessed, we are going to slip stitch to the middle of the heart. So just grabbing the back loop of this stitch and slip stitch. Next, we're going to half double crochet once into the next stitch. And then after that, we're going to do our pattern of increase, half double crochet 2, 3 times. So there's our increase, and we'll do 2 individual separate half double crochets. Now back to the increase, and then 2. And one more time, we'll do our increase. And then half double crochet 2. So next, we just got to do 1 more half double crochet increase. So there's our first and our second in that same stitch. And now we will go back to our 7 half double crochet like we did at the start of the round. Alright, so we've got something looking like this. We're going to do 1 more half double crochet into that same point stitch that we started at. And we'll chain 1, same as last round, and then slip stitch into the top of the first stitch. Awesome, so next we've got 1 more color change up, and I like to do the last 2 rows in the same darker pink color. Feel free to do them different colors if you like. But we're going to trim the yarn and knot off this end. And of course, taking our new color, we'll make a slip knot. And starting at the point of our heart in the back loop only, of course, we'll pull this new slip knot through. And then we're going to chain 2. So next, you might have guessed it, but we're going to do 8 half double crochet. So there's our first one. And we kind of skip this awkward stitch where we left off because we do end up doing one for the first stitch. I know that might be a little bit confusing. But as you can see here, I'm crocheting over my ends just to make it a little bit easier on myself later. Trimming off the excess, of course. So next, we are going to go back into our pattern of increasing. So we're going to start with an increase in the first stitch. And then we're going to do 3 half double crochet this time. Next, we're going to go back to our increase. Sorry, it's a little unfocused. I must have had way too much energy when I filmed this. And now we're just doing our 3 half double crochet. And one last time we'll do our increase. And then subsequently 3 half double crochet. So the last few stitches for this half of the heart, we're going to do 1 increase, and then 2 more half double crochet just on their own. And of course, we've got to do our slip stitch to the middle of the heart. And now we're going to half double crochet 2, 1 in each stitch, not an increase. And next we'll do our pattern again of an increase and 3 double crochet 3 times. So there's our increase, and here is our first half double crochet, our second, and there's the third. So back to the increase, and 3 half double crochet. So one more time, we'll increase, and do 3 half double crochet. So of course we got to do one more increase after that, separate of our pattern that we just did. And now we'll do 8 half double crochet along this last stretch of the row here, in back loops only, of course. So once we finish those 8, we're going to do 1 more half double crochet into the stitch we started in right at the point, and chain 1 and slip stitch to the top of the first stitch. I feel like a broken record a little bit, but this last round is going to be very different, I promise. And so your coaster is looking something like this, which if you like it like that and don't want to do the trim, feel free to stop here. It's super cute and it's still a good size. I just like to add the little cute trim, of course. So starting where we are, we're going to chain 2. And like I said, I'm using the same color as the last round. And now, in order to get this kind of bubble shape that we want, we're going to do 3 more half double crochet into the stitch that we're in. Still doing back loops only. So starting here, if you can kind of see. So that's our first half double crochet, and we're going to do 2 more. And our first chain kind of serves as a fake half double crochet, so it's almost like we have 4. So next we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Still back loops only, but we'll do a slip stitch. So in the next stitch, we'll do 4 half double crochet in that same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. It should be a little bit bulky, that's what makes our pattern. And then we'll slip stitch. So you might be guessing we're gonna just repeat this basically all the way around. We'll do our 4 half double crochet into 1 stitch. Putting my foot on the gas a little bit here, crocheting pretty quick. And then we'll slip stitch after that. And so it looks something like this. I think it's super cute and delicate. So you're going to repeat this around, the 4 half double crochet in 1 stitch, and then a slip stitch in the next. Repeat it towards the middle of the heart, because I like to do something a little bit different around there, because it can get super bulky and awkward. So go towards the middle and then meet me back there. So what I like to do is, once I get to about this point, I do 4 or so slip stitches, just because I think trying to do that bulky pattern right in the middle of the heart would look weird. So if you do a couple slip stitches on like the right half of the middle and then a couple on the left, you'll have about 4. Just kind of whatever you think until you're ready to do another bubble. And then we can go back to our pattern of 4 half double crochet in 1 stitch and then a slip stitch. So here's my first set of 4. And then my subsequent slip stitch. And I think it just looks better for the middle of the heart. So go all the way around until you get towards the end. So here I'm going to fit in 1 more set of the pattern with our 4 half double crochet right here. And then I have 2 more stitches left. If you have 1 more, that's perfect. If you have 2, just do 2 more slip stitches for those last 2 spots, like so. And we're actually going to do 1 more slip stitch, but to the top of our first chain, I guess, or at the top of the first stitch of the row, right about here. And we're going to trim that yarn, knot it off, and we're getting very close to finished. This is what it is basically going to look like. It is so adorable. But we're not done yet. We do have to sew in these remaining ends. So we'll take our yarn needle, and I'll give you a little demo here for sewing in your ends. Once we have our thread on the needle, we'll just push it through kind of anywhere near where it comes out. And then we'll trim that yarn. So doing that once more with this next one, we'll just kind of weave it in. And if you want to do 1 more, feel free to weave it in through a few more just to be extra safe. And then trim it off. And feel free to actually knot off these ends if you think that they might come undone. Make a knot with them maybe, just to be extra safe. But like I said, just kind of pulling it through randomly, maybe a couple times to be safe. And since this is the back of the coaster, it doesn't really matter. But you just want it to be fairly clean, so trim that off. And we are actually done with our coaster. Congratulations! I hope you like the finished product. It is so dainty and adorable, and I swear it looks so good on any desk. So I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you do make these coasters, please tag me on my socials. But with that being said, I will see you very soon with my next project. Bye guys!